All right, Father John, are you liking this? Is this good?
I'm loving this. Bring it on, brother. Let's
All
go.
right, great. Okay, here's the next one. So if you take a look at a lot of like corporations, they talk about vision and mission, vision statements, mission statements. So vision is about identity, mission is about purpose. And so when we think about the concept of identity and purpose, vision and mission, I'm called to be a saint. That's my identity. I'm called to fulfill the mission that God has for me in this life, to be salt, light, and leaven. In the life of faith of the ordinary Catholic Christian that you're talking about, do they need to focus on, and do they struggle with more their identity as children of God who cry out, Abba, Father? Or do they struggle more with the call to bring the gospel out into the world and be salt, light, and leaven? Identity or purpose?
Yeah, so I don't like the question because so I'm going to say both and.
See, this is good. Well, first of all, I like the fact. I like the fact that there's silence. I like that I'm making you think. This is good. This is good. This is not a, oh, I got this right away. I got it. The fact that you're pondering things is a victory. I'm already taking a victory lap, Father John. Okay.
Good. I'm glad. Well, I got a blue book in front of me where I can write down all my notes. So I think it's both. Here's why I'd say it. So I think if I'm going to make in order to them, I think it's identity first, because I think everything flows from identity. And my experience, at least as a priest, is both personally in my own life and just walking with people, was the single biggest wound for pretty much everybody I've ever known in my life is identity. We just don't know who we are, and we don't know whose we are. And we often hide behind facades and titles and cars and clothes and being in shape or athletic ability, whatever it might be. And even though we've heard over and over and over again for so many years, many of us, God loves us, I don't think most of us really believe that. I don't think we've encountered that. I don't think we know that. We know it here. I don't think we know it here. So I think identity is that which is most important. And in fact, without which the mission's going to go haywire. St. Ignatius would often say that God doesn't so much move linearly, like from A to B to C. He moves more this way. He just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And my own life personally, the one thing he just keeps going deeper in is, do I really know what it means to be son and beloved? Not for anything I've done, just for who I am. And I'm still learning that. Having said that, I don't think there is any clarity amongst the church, clergy and ordained, let alone alignment on what the mission is. I don't think we get it, personally. I think, and I think this is something the Lord's been teaching me in the last couple of years in a very particular way. I think I would have said, if you've had the encounter with Jesus, then the goal is to grow in holiness. And that's really important, to be sure. I don't want to minimize that in the least, but that's not the mission. That's like the interior mission. But the mission to go out, like Jesus sends us out in order to continue the work that he began on Easter Sunday of recreating this world which he loves, which might cost me my life. And so to grasp that and to understand that the Lord has placed us with particular gifts in particular contexts and circumstances, so as to, this is C.S. Lewis's language, which I love, be an agent of sabotage. And to bend back into conformity, healthcare, politics, entertainment, education, athletics, whatever, so that it's back into conformity with how the Father has created it to be. And I think especially for men, once we understand that that's the mission, to get in the game and to continue the work of recreation, which the Lord began, suddenly like guys are ready to roll up their sleeves and go to work because I'm up for a battle.
I like that. Carrie and my wife and I, when we met and we talked about like going deeper into God together, she grew up in a family that focused on mission. And I came through a path of conversion and transformation that focused more on identity. So I would say, let's go deeper into adoration and contemplative prayer and the transformation that comes there. And she's like, no, we got to go out on the front lines, because that's where we meet Christ, at the point where the church meets the world, at the point of proclamation. That's where we're going to see the living Lord actually at work, and that's going to change us. And so it's a fascinating thing that there's complements, right? Communion and mission, right? John Paul II. And so I think that there can be a sense of going in deeper into that sense of identity is so desperately needed for people when we hear like this whole arrival of healing of father wounds and healing of, family tree issues and all of that. There is I think that complement that you're talking about, the desperate need we have just to go out, because if we wait till we're healed before we go out, we're never going to be fully healed. Part of being healed is
Exactly.
going out, right?